is heaven slice of a major rap this skin. Guys and woes alike. Love and pride. Look at her vibes. What's the meaning of life? One subject paradise. Christian daily is flex. Often mirrors and hip click. Running the brain. Killing the flame. Close to she draws there. Stay there. Remove your underwear. Shove it somewhere over there. And we know I've heard this.
Boom. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. I'm your host, Matt Clark, and today is our 200th episode, season 200. Isn't that crazy? We've done this 200 shows. So I want to give a shout out to the people that helped get us going and started this off and believed in what I was doing and have helped me I do believe get better and the show get better, and so I appreciate that, and I want to thank them right off the bat. That, of course, is Collaborative Logic. I want to thank Russell for helping me get all the stuff up and going and running. I want to thank them for getting it off. If you have any needs for any computers or software written to help your company run smoother, they are the people to talk to, as well as if you have any website designs or anything that need to be written or designed, they can do that for you. So hit them up. And the thing I like about them is that when things go wrong, they can just remote in and you don't have to worry about them coming in and disrupting your office or anything like that. They can just remote in and do it and take care of whatever needs that will be done on your network. SRB and my guy Mark Long, appreciate everything that they do for us. If you have any engineering, surveying, or planning, they are the people to talk to. Oak Grove Trucking and my guy Jose Fierro, then Greg and Max Nafee. Of course, the guys who support me in everything I do have of always. And last but not least, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, member of the FDIC, and they are the people who go out and sponsor us for remote live streams for Black, minority, and women-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. And you can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go into any of their locations because they are a personal bank. You can do the main bank at YNB Main is at 401 Elm Street, right off of 66 there in downtown. I guess it's downtown Yukon. I would say off 66. I'm assuming that's downtown. The YNB East, which is 235 South Yukon Parkway, and that's off of Highway 66, 39th Expressway, whatever you want to call it, and the Parkway. YNB Mustang at 218 North Mustang Road in Mustang. Of course, Mustang is growing like a weed, and YNB can help you continue to grow, whether you are a personal or a commercial business. They can help you. YNB Parkway, which of course is on Garth Brooks Boulevard and I-40, just in front of the hospital, just kind of across the street from Louis, one of my favorite places to eat, by the way. Their pizza's pretty good. In fact, that sounds good. Louis sounds good today. YNB Peoples, which is the bank that I go to at 6201 Northwest 63rd, between Rockwell and MacArthur. That's the bank that I always go to because it's just easier and closer for me to get to. But anyway, out of those locations, please, by all means, go in and see those people. And like I said, this is our 200th episode, and we would not have gotten there without the help of those people. So to start off, I want to say congratulations to the Thunder. They are moving up slowly in the standings, and we can pull up the West standings right now when you see it. The Thunder are now 10th at 33 and 35. 13 games out. The Nuggets are on a 2-game losing streak. They lost to the Spurs, blowing a huge lead. And as you can see, the Spurs now 17 and 50. But the Thunder, via those couple wins, they have moved up to 10th, still in the process. But the Jazz, of course, are 33 and 35. We have one more game to them. And like I said, that game that we lost to them right after the All-Star break was huge for us because that would have given us a 3-1, a 3-0 advantage. And right now we have to play them one more time. So we need to definitely get that victory when we play them. Uh, but you can see the Mavericks at 34 and 34, one game basically in front of us. The T Wolves, again, one game in front of us. The Warriors are two games in front of us. And then when you look at the Thunder's remaining schedule, you can see how big the game is tomorrow night against the Nets. Then we go to Toronto. We have the Suns at home. And of course, KD. If you guys haven't heard, KD is going to miss the remainder of the regular season with an ankle or foot or whatever that was when he was just going for a regular layup and then turned his foot. But as Calvin Thompson and I talked about, all these guys have all these ankle injuries. Dude, wear mid highs or some high tops. You can get good looking shoes that are high tops, but of course they're in the business of selling shoes, and everybody wants to wear low tops, and it's just ridiculous that they do that. But anyway, we have the Suns at home on Sunday, so we play tonight in Brooklyn, or tomorrow night, Brooklyn at home. Then we go to Toronto, which is a huge game, and then the Suns at home on Sunday. Then this is when it really gets ugly because we play the Clippers twice on Tuesday and then Thursday, then the Lakers on a back-to-back on Friday, and then the Trailblazers on Sunday. So when you look at that because I believe we should go 2-3, 2-1 in the next three games, and we have a chance to beat Toronto. But anyway, we have that. But when you look at going to the Clippers twice and then to the Lakers on a back-to-back and to Portland, when you look at that, and here's the West standings, just to go back so that you guys can get a good feel for what I'm trying to say. You see the Trailblazers are 13, so should we win that game? Yes. But when you've got the Clippers that are three games in front of us, and you play them twice, and then you have the Lakers basically tied with us, even though we're one game ahead of them with the tiebreaker, you can see how important it is. And when you look at that right now, I mean, these next games are huge. You've got the Clippers, if you can beat them twice, and you can beat the Suns once, that makes all the difference in the world. So I just don't understand uh, the rotation and what the Thunder are doing right now because when you look at the game last night, and by the way, let me just say this. I did not watch the game last night because I just can't. It's just Michael Cage and him. When the Thunder were good, remember if the Thunder, nobody listened to the Fox broadcast. They'd rather have the national broadcast because nobody could stand listening to him. Now we're forced, and after listening, the announcers, they don't know what a shot is, what a shot isn't. They don't know the names of it. They're so pro Thunder, and I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about? I can't even listen to it. So I couldn't even listen to the game. I listened to about a first half quarter. I was like, I can't. I just can't. So I turned it off. Plus, I knew we were going to beat them. And then when you got Lindy Waters coming off the bench before everybody, I'm just going, I'm done. This is the time you build chemistry. And I've said this before. This is playoff basketball. Now, you clearly are done with Trey Mann because you're playing Lindy Waters in front of him. So clearly, you're done with him. Okay, fine, whatever. You'll be done with Lindy too. This is the time you build chemistry. You have SGA, you're not playing him on back-to-back nights, which you're going to have to change that because, you can't afford to lose to the Clippers twice and then play the Lakers and then lose three games in a row. Can't afford that. And if you're playing Lindy Waters, you're not going to win. You're playing Sarge a bunch of minutes, you're not going to win. Those are facts. Those are facts. Because of his substitution process, he costs us, his lineups, he costs us 6 to 8 points a game. And you can go back and look for yourself. You need to be playing SGA, Josh, J Dub, which is your big three, and then Dort and Jay Will. They need to be playing 28, 30 minutes, over 30 minutes a game. That group, period. Those are your starters. That's what you got to go with. Then you got Isaiah Joe, who needs to be playing 28, maybe 30 minutes as your sixth guy. Then your seventh guy is clearly Sarge or whatever if you're going to do him. So that's 7 right there. Then Jang is going to be your 8th guy because he took the place clearly of Kendrick Williams. So you got to play him. Okay? So that's 8 right there. Then you want to throw in Lenny Martin. Dude, you need to play 8 to 9 guys, period, right now. And you can't afford to put him in there because you need the collusion, you need the chemistry of the team to be together, understanding where everybody's going to be at. Understand what everybody can and can't do defensively and offensively, but especially defensively. You got to understand what that is. Because if you don't, the Thunder aren't going to do anything. And right now, you're sitting in perfect position to be in the playoffs, and you can move up. But you have got to say, look, this is what we're playing. Look, I like the Lindy. I like Lindy Waters. And like I met him talking about it Saturday at Santa Fe Family Life Center doing fadeaway hoops tournament. Guy is I won't mention his name, but anyway, he played with Lindy Waters' dad, and we were talking about it. And I said, Lindy's a great kid, but there ain't no way in hell you can tell me he should be playing and for more minutes than Aaron Wiggins. No way. Aaron Wiggins was the seventh guy. I'm sorry, it should have been instead of Sarge. There's no way in hell you can tell me that. Because in basketball, the one thing you know is who's better than the other person. You're sticking Lindy in there. He had a good game against Phoenix, no doubt, whatever. That's an outlier. And he went 2 for 7, whatever, last night. That's who he is. That's who he is. If you're putting him in there for shooting, he ain't that guy over here. In the blue, for the blue, oh, he is that guy all day long, all night long. No question. Unbelievable. But up here on this level, no. He is 2 for 7, 2 for 6, 2 for 8, 3 for 11. That's who he is if he shot that many times. Of course, he shouldn't. That's what he is. You got to build chemistry. So when you go back and you look at the Thunder and you look at the team stats, here you go. You had Jalen Williams, 26 minutes, 5 rebounds. And every time you play him, right at 30 minutes, he has 8, 9 rebounds. And by the way, congratulations on him leading the NBA in charges taken. And I saw a crazy thing earlier today. He led college, he led the NCAA in charges taken. He's now currently leading the NBA in charges taken, which is another way. If you're not a shot blocker, you take charges, and that cuts out people from scoring baskets into the paint. So, and then J-Dub, that's J-Will. J-Dub, 35 minutes, 7 for 10. I mean, he's just a beast. 7 rebounds, 10 assists, almost a triple-double. 21 points. Love what he does. He saved us last night. He just took over when you needed to. 7 for 18, I'm sorry. Isaiah Joe, 29 minutes, 2 for 8, 1 for 6. We've just got it because once he's, like I said, when he's at the line shooting and he's not trying to do step backs and all that for the 3-point line, he's deadly. But when he tries to be a scorer, he's a catch and shoot guy. And I'm assuming that one day he used at one point he was a scorer. He's a straight up shooter now only. 5 points. Josh, 32 minutes, 6 for 16, 1 for 2 from 3, not bad. Triple-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds. 10 rebounds, 11 assists. 15 points. So 15 points, 10 rebounds, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. 11 rebounds. He didn't know I can't talk. Misread that. Josh Giddey, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. I was misrebound. He had 10 defensive rebounds. But 11 rebounds, 15 points. You got to have more assists than that, Josh. But, of course, J-Dub was the architect of our offense last night. Then here goes Lou Dort, 30 points. 30 minutes, 12 points, 3 for 10, 1 for 5. He's just killing us. But he did go 5 for 5 from the free throw line. But he's killing us. And I don't know how the coaching staff aren't seeing that. It's so funny is when SGA is not here, our shots for threes go up compared to when he is here. We're much more efficient when he's here because we don't have guys launching threes. Sarge, 18 minutes, 4 for 9, 1 for 5. He's got to be able to be better than that. He's got to be at least 2 for 5 from 3 minimum for him to be worth playing. 7 rebounds, didn't play bad. 10 minutes. And that plus-minus stuff, I don't give a crap about none of that. And to me, that doesn't matter. It's what I can see your eye contact says. When I'm looking at you, I can tell whether you're playing. I see what you're doing and what you're not doing. Forget all that plus-minus, all that analytics, because that's the reason why that they've got Joker based on that plus-minus crap as the greatest player ever in the history of the NBA. Who the hell is going to believe that? It's already controversy in the fact that there's only going to be 3 NBA 3 times straight, three consecutive MVPs, Larry Bird and him. Unbelievable. I mean, let's see, Michael Jordan couldn't do it. Giannis couldn't do it. Steph Curry didn't do it. LeBron couldn't do it. But Larry Bird and him can. Yeah, right, whatever. Lindy Waters, 23 minutes, 2 for 7, 1 for 6. That's who he is. 8 points. That's who he is. Jang, 28 points, 28 minutes, 7 for 15. The kid is slowly coming on, and that would be my guy to replace Kendrick Williams. Okay? Then Aaron Wiggins, 20 minutes, 2 for 6, 1 for 3, 5 points. You've got that kid up and down. To me, it's really simple. You've got those 5 plus SGA is 6. Then you've got Aaron Wiggins as 7. You got Jang as 8. You got Sarge as 9. That's your deal. That's your players right there. Gerald Robinson Earl, no. He's out. Trey Mann, clearly no. Lindy Waters, clearly no. You're trying to replace Trey Mann for him for Lindy. No. You just keep SGA. You play SGA more. You play Josh more. You play J Dub more. That's what you do. Josh should be at 30 minutes, 32 minutes. Dort at 30-something minutes. Isaiah Joe right by where he is. Jalen Williams at 30-plus minutes. SGA at 30-plus minutes. Then you got Sarge in there, 18-ish, which is where he should be. Jang should be, roughly 25 or so because he's not the defender that Aaron Wiggins is. And against good teams, you got to have your best players out there. So this is what I've been talking about right here. You can't have this lineup, and if you go out and expect to win, especially when what we have coming up and who we've got to play, it's just not there. And let me go back and pull up the Thunder schedule again, and I'm going to explain it to you right now, and that'll make this hopefully will make sense once I pull it up. Okay, the Nets. The Nets are 39-26 or 36-29, but we should be able to beat them. Then you got to go Toronto. Toronto is one of the top teams in the East. So when you look at that, you're going, okay, where does that put us as a group? Where does that put us as a team? And I'm just looking at Toronto right now. When you look at Toronto, the Nets are 39-20. Nets are 39-29. They're in 5th place. The Raptors are 32-36. And when you look at their home and away schedule, the Raptors are 20. What are they? 20-13 at home. So they're formidable. So now you got them. So you can't be affording me. You got to lower. You got to cut down on who you're playing. Then we got to go to Phoenix, and of course we know where Phoenix is at. They are ranked 4th and at 37-30. So then there you go. You got that right there. Then you turn around and you play the Clippers twice, and the Clippers are 36-33. They're 18-15 at home. We can clearly beat the Clippers, but we don't match up with them. And they notice that they're playing Russell Westbrook less and less simply because their turnovers. He's just a machine, a turnover machine. Anyway, so you got the Clippers, so you got to watch who you play there. Then you play the Lakers back to back. So if you're not planning on playing SGA back to back, what do you think is going to happen in LA? That's an L. Then you turn around, you got to go to Portland, and the Trailblazers are 31-37. They are 17-15 at home. We can get them at the house, but once again, SGA needs to be playing, which he would. Then you have the Charlotte Hornets, kind of, whatever with the Charlotte Hornets. I think we should be able to get the Hornets basically because they're 22-48. They're not very good. They're 11-22 at home. So then here you got them. Then you turn around and you have the Pistons, which we should be able to get the Pistons there in last place. So you should be able to get the Pistons. Then you have the Pacers. Well, the Pacers, and we don't match up well with them at all. That's going to be a tough one for us. Okay? Then you turn around, that's on a Friday at home. So we should get that. Then you got to go back to Phoenix to play them again. Now, Kevin Durant's not playing. And let's face it, they beat us without Kevin Durant. And we were great from shooting threes. So, you have to have a crazy shooting night. But once again, you need to have SGA playing in that game. You need to cut down your number threes. You need to score and keep them from going crazy. Then, too, because Devin Booker just absolutely destroyed us. Then, of course, then you turn around and go, you have Golden State Warriors at home and the Jazz at home. Golden State at home and Jazz at home. And remember, we're fighting there with the Jazz. Now, this is what I'm talking about. The reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just stating the facts. If you want to win, this is playoff basketball in these last 15 games. Or 16 games. So you have got to understand, I've got to cut my roster down. Here's the guys I got to go with. I got to build team chemistry and cohesiveness. Because in basketball is the one sport if somebody's better than you. And it's about respecting the coach or not. If you're playing guys they know you shouldn't be playing and they're trying to win, and I'm talking about your big three, they're trying to win and they see that you're playing guys that they don't trust as much as you do, that's not good. Because somebody you bring off the bench first, but then you don't play them in the fourth quarter at the end, what does that say? You shouldn't be playing anybody that you can't play in the fourth quarter. At the end, you take them out 7 minutes ago, that's it. They start the fourth quarter, start the second quarter, play most of the end of the first quarter, most of the second quarter, end of the third quarter, most of the fourth. What are you doing? You have to build chemistry. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. Right now, I'm trying to teach you guys and get you guys to understand something. If you don't think, no matter what you think, I'm telling you what the players are. They know who should be playing and who shouldn't. They know what you're trying to do. They get it. And trust me, SGA and Josh and J Dub, your big three, they're trying to win. Your coach, they're either going to look at him and go, hey, he's got to go because I'm saying he's got to go because I know they're looking at him like, what are you doing? Let's tighten this hatch. We've got a chance to really do something. And when you look at the Western Conference, dude, we're a couple, 3 or 4 wins, and we can continue that from being having a home playoff. Through 2 home playoff games, possibly 3. Instead, you want to do a play-in game? I'm gonna let it go, okay? Because it's just too frustrating for me. I just don't understand what they are doing, and it's not rocket science. You look at the other teams, what they're playing. They're playing their best 8, 9 tops, but their best 8. That's what they're playing. That ninth guy, if somebody's struggling, whatever, they'll bring in that ninth guy. You got Jay Will in there. You're barely playing. Dude, you've got to play him more than you play. So he's got to be your starting 5 has got to be in the 30s, or every single one of them in the 30s in minutes played. Your 7th, 8th, and ninth guy need to be at your low 20s, and that is Wiggins, Sarge, and Jang. And Isaiah Joe's coming off; he should be in the high 20s because he's your 6th man. That's it. You're playing. I mean, like I said, I like Lindy, but he ain't ready for this. He's not there, and you're playing him, and you think these guys aren't paying attention? That he's playing more minutes than Aaron Wiggins. He can't defend like Aaron Wiggins to defend. And look who you've got coming down the pike. You got to be able to defend. And he is a sometimey streaky little shooter. You've got to build your chemistry defensively. And often you got to go with this group. And let's face it, Sarge can't really help you that much either defensively. And offensively, if he's not knocking down my threes and scoring right away, hey, come sit down, you're done for the night. That's it. You got to go with your 5 plus Aaron Wiggins and Joe. You got to go with those 7 predominantly most of the period. Period. That's what you got to go with. And then you bring in Jane and Sarge. You bring them in sparingly. But those 7. They should be playing the majority of the minutes, and that's what you're sticking with because Joe and Josh Giddey are your worst defenders in SGA. Those are your worst defenders. Everybody else can kind of defend better. But SGA is your lead steal guy, so he's stealing the ball. He's blocking shots. So you want to keep him on the floor. But you got Isaiah Joe is your worst guy with Josh Giddey. Your worst defenders you got out of that 7. Everybody else can pretty much defend. Then you turn around and you bring in Jang. He can't really defend. Sarge can't really defend. But Jang can give you some shoot-ups and some spot-up minutes. Anyway, that's going to be in my Thunder report tomorrow night. But I could not watch the game last night. In NBA scores, the Nets beat the Nuggets. The Nets beat the Nuggets last night, 122 to 120. The Nuggets, with their 3rd loss in a row, they're just on a down spiral right now, but they're just hitting that moment. And if they continue to go down, I don't have them going to the finals anyway. Cavaliers and the Hornets, Cavaliers taking care of business, 114-108. Wizards, 93. Sixers, 112. The Pelicans beat the Blazers, 127 to 110 at home. The Thunder, of course, took care of business to the lowly Spurs. I mean, it wasn't a very good basketball game anyway. Thunder taking care of business, and that's what you got to do. You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and then the teams that you're equal with, you've got to beat. And then you got to sneak in and beat the teams that are a little bit better than you. You got to sneak in and get one. And then, of course, the Lakers with a horrible loss last night. Anthony Davis did not play well at all. Julius Randle really took care of business and just spanked him for the most part. Anyway, spanked them real bad. So that being said, that was the NBA roundup for games tonight. The Pacers Pacers and the Pistons. Pacers traveling to the Pistons. Jazz at the Heat. The Grizzlies at the Mavs. That's going to be a huge, huge, huge game. If we had a choice, we'd want the Mavs to get beat by the Grizzlies. And then the Wolves at the Hawks tonight. Celtics at the Rockets. Bucks at the Kings, which that's a game I'm really, really interested in watching to see what the Bucks are going to be able to do, and the Kings, if they're as good as they think. I say that they're pretty good. My guy Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com thought that they're going to be fading by now, but they are not fading, and I told him that I thought they would be in there and in the mix. And then the Suns and the Warriors. And in my power rankings, I've got the Bucks, the Nuggets, the Celtics, the Suns, and the Cavs. And I don't know if I'm going to have to revisit that because with Kevin Durant not playing, I'm not sure if the Suns are going to be ranked that high. The Sixers, of course, I might have to move them up because they are playing really, really well. James Harden has been leading the NBA lately in assists. He is just reinventing himself, I guess, if you want to call it that. The Kings, I have to move them up because I think they are playing really, really good basketball under Mike Brown. You get a good coach and you add one player, and it makes all the difference in the world, which is what I'm saying for Oklahoma City. Get a good coach that understands where to put people, put them in the best place for us to succeed as a team, and you will. Especially with Chet coming back, we shall see what that does, like I've said. The Wolves are in ninth, and then the Mavs 10, and of course, Drew Hinthorn has the Bucks, the Nuggets, the Suns, the Celtics, and the Sixers, and I think he'll probably do the same thing. Then he's got Golden State, the Mavs, Lakers, Clippers, and the Hawks. He loves the Hawks. I'm not a Hawks fan, but that is him. That's what he believes. Now, in NBA news, uh, NBA, the NBA and NBA Players Association are getting close on a CBA agreement on load management. Now, currently, the players and NBA are both concerned because people are just, it's not a good look. It's just not. And I think the players are recognizing that. The teams are recognizing that. Now, the players they say it's the teams because the teams want to play their players less so they'll be ready for the playoffs. And that's what the players are saying. It's them, not us. We play more. And I think that the teams have got to understand that your fans, they want you to win, but they want to mainly come to games. And those people who have money, they're going to see these guys. They don't really care that much. But the people who don't have money that can have just enough to go to one game to see one player. And like I said, to me, this is really easy. Yeah, do that. The 58 games is the minimum for you to play in to be a scoring leader. I think it needs to be higher than that for MVP and the other. I think it needs to be around because there's 82 games. Make it 65. Okay? Make it 65. Now, I would rather it be 70 out of 82. That's just me. But all away games, if you're on to me, this should be mandatory. If you're playing one away game in a city, all players must play unless you're injured. Not hurt, but injured. Not hurt. And I'm talking injured. Because if you're hurt, that's completely different. If you're injured, that is a whole different story right there in itself. Okay, and that's kind of how I look at it. Okay, because there's a difference between hurt and injured. If you're injured, you can't play. If you're hurt, that's a smokescreen for the team allowing you to take a day off. So that's my thing. If you play on a team one time out of conference, then to me you should automatically be on. You automatically should play because that's one time that some poor family is going to be able to see you. They're scraping all their money for that one game a year they get to watch an NBA team. So to me, that solves that issue when it comes to that. So now, that being said, we don't have our Drew Hinthorn Husker Drew picks. He did not send me picks today. He's probably on his way back and probably busy trying to get caught up from being in Kansas City all week for the Big 12 championship last week, which, of course, the Texas Longhorns took care of the Kansas Jayhawks. So here is now, of course, we know this is my favorite time of the year coming up. And I'm sure most people's favorite time of the year because Thursday, March Madness starts, I believe it's tomorrow, it's the first play-in game. But it really starts Thursday, where that's the one day that people are, they're sick because everybody watches TV from morning to night. It starts early in the morning, it plays all day, and everybody is there watching at your favorite local bar, watching, and hopefully we'll have nice weather because I love to be able to sit on the patio at Cat's Tavern and be able to smoke my cigars and chill and be able to watch the game. So we'll see what happens with the weather on that. So that being said, here are the NCAA brackets. Of course, the play-in games is Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, at New Mexico State, and these games are March 14th and 15th. Mississippi State at Pittsburgh. Then, of course, Texas Southern at FDU. I don't know what is that, Florida Dominion University? What is that, Florida something DU? Anyway, and then of course Arizona State playing Nevada, and I was really disappointed that my Cowboys did not get in. I thought that they deserved to get in, but they did not. I thought they had did enough late in the season, but losing to Texas, who was the eventual champions, did not help. But anyway, you can see Alabama is the number one overall seed, and they are in the South. And then, of course, the East number one seed is Purdue. The Midwest, remember, Pony Thompson and I were arguing over whether KU would be the number one seed in the Midwest, and I just told him I thought Houston would be because they're just, Houston is number one overall seed. And then Alabama was ranked second, I believe. But anyway, I figured that Houston should be the Midwest, even though it would make sense for me for Kansas to be there, especially for Des Moines, because they could play in Des Moines. But what they did is they stuck Texas in Des Moines as the number two seed, Houston as the number one seed, and did that. And Kansas is going to be out west as the number one seed out west. And so that's going to be interesting to see. And I'm looking for, where is KU at? Okay, there we go. Kansas is playing. Oh, they're playing in Des Moines as well. Okay, cool. That's smart for them. Put them in the West, play them in Des Moines. And then, of course, the Midwest is in Kansas City, and the West is in Vegas. So I'm sure a lot of KU fans are not going to be, they can still make that trip going to there. And then Houston is where the championship will be played, which is going to be interesting because some people feel like, does that give Houston Cougars an advantage? I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that just because they're playing in Houston, they're going to be playing at what is it called? Whatever Houston Football State Reliant or whatever it's called. I think it's called something else now. But anyway, that's where they'll be playing. So I don't think that's necessarily going to help Houston that much, but it may. And it'd be nice if you could play in front of home, but it does bring added pressure on the team. So you've got KU playing in Des Moines, and then in Vegas, you got Texas A&M and Texas both playing in Des Moines. So I thought that'd be interesting. Texas against Texas A&M, that'd be a great round of, what is that, 32 to see who goes to the Sweet 16. That would be interesting. Of course, tomorrow we'll be breaking down the brackets for Tuesday and especially Wednesday is when we're actually going to do the bracket breakdown, so everybody can get those turned in and see who's going to win. And of course, I did really good last year, so I'm assuming that I'm going to probably do good again. And then, of course, here's the women's bracket for this year. The number one overall seed, of course, what was that? South Carolina. They are the number one overall seed because they are just the defending state champions, or excuse me, defending national champions. They are undefeated, but they're going to have a tough time with UConn because UConn is slowly coming and starting to play better. So that should be interesting. But I think South Carolina will come back and handle that, and they should go undefeated. But anyway, we'll give a breakdown of them tomorrow because their first game is on Wednesday. So we'll give a breakdown, or I'll give the breakdown. I don't know if we will. I know I'm going to give a breakdown of who I think is going to win where, and then give you my bracket. So I'll stick it up there so you'll have it in advance to think who's going to win, and I'm going to tell you why I think that's going to happen. So anyway, that's my breakdown of that. Now, NFL, there's been some huge news. There's been a lot going on today. In fact, you know what? Let me give my sponsors another shout out. I want to take this time to thank my guys, Collaborative Logic, for keeping me up and running for these 200 plus shows. Thank them for that. If you have any needs for any computers to make they can buy that to get if you're expanding your office, or if you have any needs to make your office run smoother, they are the people that can make that happen. They can develop software for you. They can also create a website designs, and they do it all there, plus sell you the computers. SRB and my guy Mark Long, if you have any engineering, surveying, or planning, they are the people to talk to there. They love, love, love to be behind the scenes of your building or your complex or whatever you're going to be doing. They are perfect for that. Oak Grove Trucking, if you got any dirt or rocks to be moved, my guy Jose Fierro is perfect for that. Greg and Max Nafee, appreciate them supporting everything I do, as always, as far as supporting the kids in my academy, buying kids, taking care of kids for camps. They are perfecto for that. YNB, if you have, they have family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They are an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com if you want to pre-qualify, or you can go in and see the guys. And if you're going to see Joe Horn or Carson Wright or Nathan Taylor, go into the main bank to see those guys at 401 Elm, downtown Yukon. You can go out to the east location, which is just probably, about 3 miles from the main bank. They're on Highway 66, 39th Street, or 39th Expressway, right there off that on the Yukon Parkway. Y&B Mustang. Mustang is growing huge, and with the help of Y&B, with them getting loans for its housing and commercial and personal, they are the people to talk to right there at 218 North Mustang Road. Or you can go to the Y&B at Parkway, which is I-40 and Garth Brooks Boulevard, right in front of the hospital. You cannot miss it. And then one I always go to is Y&B Peoples at 6201 Northwest 23rd, which is between MacArthur and Rockwell. So love going and hanging out. That's the one I always go to. And we also want to thank YNB because we go out and we do remote live streams of minority, women, and black-owned businesses in Oklahoma City, and we would not be able to do that without those guys. So we appreciate them and their support for what we do here on the Unpopular Hour, as well as After the Storm. And I'm going to give you that information too. While I'm doing that, I might as well tell you about that too. We have more than one show. We do this show as well as After the Storm, which is, of course, our OKC Thunder post-game analysis show. It's our live stream where I talk about the Thunder and what happened actually during the game, not what you hear on that broadcast, which is a bunch of crap. The Unpopular Hour, which is our daily show. Now, if you miss that, if you don't want to go to YouTube, if you go to YouTube, please like and subscribe and hit the notification button for the After the Storm. So it's After the Storm -OKC Thunder. That will pop up. The Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark will pop up. So hit the subscribe, like, and notifications. Now, if you don't know how to go to YouTube or you don't want to put in your information, you can go to www.mcsportsnetwork.com and you can watch all the shows from that deal as well. So you can do that as well. So whichever one you want to go to and get that squared away. So, but like I said, in NFL news, there's been a bunch of news today. I mean, everything is happening as we knew it would. I thought I should have moved this down, but I did not. So we'll just do it right now so you guys can see what I am talking about. Those of you on air, you can see kind of how we do things. Obviously, I had a lot up there. The Pacers and the Pacers. The Jets and the Packers have agreed in principle to a trade, and I believe it's already went down where Aaron Rodgers has agreed to be traded. And it's shockingly what I was saying at this time when I wrote this, that they were waiting on him to decide, shockingly. The Raiders have signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a 3-year, $67 million contract. And a lot of that had to do with what Sean Payton did with the Broncos, signing Jared Stidham from the Raiders and forced the Raiders into spending more money for Jimmy Garoppolo than I think that they probably would have initially. So kudos to Sean Payton and what they're doing. The Chiefs lose offensive tackle Andrew Wiley to the Commanders and their former GM, former offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, and he's shoring up the Commanders' offensive line as we speak. And of course, the Chiefs have made a deal too. They've signed an offensive right tackle too that they're going to switch over to left. So we'll see what happens with that. The Niners, and we'll get into more of that tomorrow. Once everything breaks down again, we'll get into more NFL news, and I'm gonna break that news for us, the Chiefs, and what they're doing, because they, the one thing you don't want to do for the Chiefs is leave arguably the best quarterback in football wide open without an offensive tackle. So, and they did sign their former right tackle for the former right tackle from the from the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's going to be interesting to see. And they signed him to a 4-year. What did they sign him to? Uh, I will see that, which obviously signals the end of Orlando Brown. He wanted too much money for what he did, but the Chiefs have taken Jawan Taylor for an $80 million deal. 4 years, $80 million. And of course, Orlando Brown was thinking too high of himself. Why would you do that? I don't know, Orlando, but that's your decision going for the money. Niners signed defensive tackle Javon Hargrave to a 4-year, $84 million deal, and that's going to really, really hurt the Eagles in their vaunted defense they had last year. And all that's going to do is make the 49ers defense even that much more formidable. They're going to be a beast. I think what the 49ers are saying is that we're going to stop other teams and then we're going to have our quarterback just be efficient enough to get it done. And then with Aaron Rodgers leaving, that's really going to open it up and make it a little bit easier. But they're still going to have to deal with the Eagles because Jason Kelsey has announced that he is returning to the Eagles. The Lions signed the Steelers cornerback Cameron Sutton to a 3-year, $30 million deal. And I was surprised that Cameron left. But the Lions are surging, and the Steelers are who they are. It's still just amazing that Mike Tomlin has not had a losing record when everybody thought he would, but they came back and won 7 straight last year to have a winning record. It's unbelievable the coaching job that he does. I know Colin Cowherd always talks about offensive coaches and this and that and how they are, but hey, you've never had a losing season as a defensive coach. You can say what you want to. You got to be a hell of a coach in order to do that. And he has a Super Bowl, so you need to chill out about that. There are exceptions to the rule, and clearly he is one. Colin Kaepernick accuses his adoptive white parents of problematic upbringing, perpetuating racism. And I'm going to address this, and that's why I just went to the camera. First of all, them adopting him from the situation that he was in, giving him a stable home, giving him parents who loved him. Okay, yeah, there's white going to be there. Yeah, there's going to be some issues with a white parent raising a black child. No question. But for you to have the opportunities that you had is because these white parents adopted you. Now, a lot of black people don't believe that white people shouldn't adopt black kids. I'm like, okay, so you'd rather them stay in foster care, getting abused, getting taken care of, not getting the best of stuff, or would you rather them go to a white family or an Asian family or whatever to adopt them? Your black family, you're not adopting them. And all I can say is this: yeah, it's going to be cultural differences, no question, but clearly they loved you. Clearly they brought you up the best way that they knew how. Clearly you made it to the NFL. Clearly you got to a college scholarship. They did something right to get you there. So for you to say what you're saying and put them on blast now, really? Are you serious? Now we all know you have issues and you're trying to make a name and keep your face out there. But bro, really? Your parents? And I'm sure there was some issues growing up. I'm sure they had some issues being white parents raising a black young man. I have no doubt about that. And I'm sure there was some stuff that they probably didn't understand, but they did the best they can. And look, you're pretty damn successful because those white people got you out of where you were and adopted you. And this is how you repay them. Dude, I was with you and I understood the whole kneeling deal, and I get that. Okay? And I understand that it is what it is, and DWP, driving while black, is a real thing. The way that the chance of getting a black man getting shot, far outweigh a white person getting shot. Those are facts. Those aren't in discussion at all. But for you to throw your white parents under the bus like this, bro, anything that you've done up to this point to me, I'm done. I mean, that says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about what kind of person you are. These people took you, saved your life, provided as best of opportunities they can for you to go to college and be in the NFL. Sacrificed buying you shoes, taking you here to practice, and whatever else, so that you can make it. And this is how you repay them. You're trash, dude. I just don't understand anybody. I just don't understand you at all. I really don't. Now, I thought we were gonna get my guy Ben Dillman on today, but clearly he's not. So I will go ahead and give you the hockey scores from last night, since we are not going to see him. In fact, let me do the XFL since we're in football. Let me do XFL right now. And last night in the XFL score, yesterday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Roughnecks beat the Guardians 44-16 on Saturday, and the Brahmas beat the Sea Dragons 6-15. And of course, when I look at some of these teams' names, I just laugh. I mean, the Roughnecks. The Houston Roughnecks, they're 4-0, they're rolling. Of course, the Guardians, the Orlando Guardians, who would not want to live down there where it's warm. And then the San Antonio Brahmas lost to the Seattle Sea Dragons 15-6. The Arlington Renegades, I can't even say the name. Of course, our guy Bob Stoops is their coach. They lost last night, or yesterday, to the Battlehawks. And the Battlehawks are from St. Louis, and they lost to them in St. Louis on the road last night. The Vipers, the Vipers, you want to guess where they're from? Vegas, of course. And, of course, they lost to the DC Defenders last night. And when you look at the divisions, here's the breakdown right now of the divisions. The Houston Roughnecks are 4-0. The Renegades are 2-2 under Coach Bob Stoops. The Brahmas are 1-3. The Orlando Guardians are 0-4. The DC Defenders are 4-0. The Battlehawks are 3-1. And those pesky Seattle Sea Dragons are 2-2. The Vegas Vipers are 0-4 when you look at those brackets. And now, of course, getting back to, I was hoping my guy would slide back in, but he is not. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the NHL games today. The Sabres play the Leafs at 6:30. The Avalanche play the Canadiens. I love just the way that sounds, Canadiens. I like the way that sounds. Anyway, tonight at 6:30, and then, of course, my Stars go on the road to play the Kraken tonight. I need my Stars to get a W there because the playoffs are coming and they can't afford to drop games. So I need them to get some games. We need to get a W tonight. And of course, NHL scores. The Bruins lost to the Red Wings 5-3 yesterday. The Rangers, God, man, you would think that big trade that they made, they would be playing better, but they're not. Lose to the Penguins 3-2. The Golden Knights took care of Drew's Blues 5-3. The Devils beating the Hurricane 3-0. The Jets winning over the Lightning 3-2, or the Bolts, as my guy High Stick Harry calls them. And then the Flames, firing on all cylinders, beat the Senators 5-1. The Yotes, they just love disrupting everything. Beat the Wild 5-4 in OT. And then, of course, the Unmighty Ducks lost to the Predators 5-4 in OT as well. So that being said, hey, we got a full week of sports coming up. I cannot wait for the NCAA the March Madness to start on Thursday. It's everybody's favorite time of year, this Thursday and Friday, where there's games from morning till midnight. It's just going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to watch basketball all day. Sit out, smoke cigars. And what is the weather going to be like, as a matter of fact? Let me look that up and see what the weather is going to be. Okay, let me see. Thursday, 73 degrees, but it's going to be a 60% chance of rain, which I don't care because I can sit in the patio and still watch that, or I can sit on my back patio and watch it and smoke cigars. But Friday, absolutely not. It's going to be 50 degrees, so I'm definitely not going to be watching that. But anyway, so we have March Madness. Women starts on Wednesday. The men start on Thursday. The Thunder have a huge game against the Nets tomorrow night. So really, everybody go to Paycom and support the team because we're in the thick of it right now. And, we have a chance. These next 6 games are going to be completely important. If we can win 4 out of 6, we will be sitting pretty with a chance to have some playoff games. And I want us to get out of the play-in scenario, which is where we're at currently. So that being said, everybody.